welcome to Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics. On today's lesson, we'll be discussing about culture and society as anthropological concept. Let us now identify the learning objectives. At the end of the learning episode, you are expected to define the culture and society, identify the anthropological concept of culture and society, enumerate the Filipino brand of culture in our society. Choose the letter of the best answer by writing your answer on a separate sheet of paper. Remember, you are given 5 seconds to answer each question. Question number 1. It is defined as a constituting in a fairly large number of people who are living in the same territory. The choices are A. Culture, B. Society, C. People, D. Community. The correct answer is B. Society. Question number 2. A set of practices and traditions that defines a specific society. The choices are A. Community, B. People, C. Culture, D. Society. The correct answer is C. Culture. Third question. It is based on historical precedents. The choices are A. Society, B. Culture, C. Norms, D. Language. The correct answer is B. Culture. Fourth question. A set of ideas people share, good or bad, desirable or undesirable. The choices are A. Norms, B. Values, C. Society, D. Culture. The correct answer is B. Values. Fifth and final question. They are the one responsible who coined the term society to facilitate their exploration of social phenomena. The choices are A. Social scientist, B. Research scientist, C. Medical scientist, D. Cultural scientist. The correct answer is A. Social scientists. Let us go to the recap prior to the previous lesson. Let us read the direction. It has something to do with our topic for today's lesson. Write at least 3 goals of each social science discipline. Go for goals. What are the goals of anthropology, sociology, political science? You may write your answer on a separate sheet of paper. Let us now proceed to our lesson for today. Have you ever asked yourself what is going in our world today? Is the new normal will stay as part of our society? Will the pandemic affect our rich culture? Let us now focus our lesson on our own backyard. You see, being a Filipino is a unique experience. In this time of the pandemic, you hear stories of heroism, resiliency, and bayanihan spirit, which undoubtedly are Filipino brand of culture. If we are to understand what has just mentioned, we can see the relationship of anthropology, with culture. Anthropological concepts. Interestingly, society is the first concept. Society is a humanly created organization or system of interrelationship that connects individuals in a common culture. All the products of human interaction, the experience of living with others around us. Humans create their interaction, and once created, those products interact have the ability or power to act back upon humans to determine or constrain action. Often, we experience society, humanly created organization, as something apart from the individual in interaction that create it. There are three components of society. One is language. Two, values. And number three, norms. Culture is based off of historical precedents, while society is an agreement on how each member should behave. Society in the overall bigger picture, while culture is a part of society. Culture changing. Constantly remember, during the 80s up to the 90s, the word tatay became as slang as an airpot, while nanay is airman. Can you tell how our father and mother are called today? Like in the early part of our discussion, we mentioned that being a Filipino is really a unique experience. Let us know why. What makes the Filipino culture stands out? Let us enumerate. Filipinos are very resilient. Filipinos take pride in their families. Filipinos are very religious. Filipinos are very respectful. And Filipinos are or helps one another. These are just some of the uniqueness of the Filipino culture. Our culture definitely speaks of our colorful history from the time of our ancestors and conquerors, the Spaniards and the Americans. We have also enumerated the concept of anthropology, namely society, culture itself. As mentioned, what makes the Filipino culture stand out? It is not only from being respectful with our elderly people, nor being resilient in times of calamities. Filipino stands out because of our care as human beings. Remember, society and culture are interrelated and form part of our vast history as Filipinos. And under anthropology, as concept, it explains that the origin of culture diversity is through mankind, hence the concentration a human perspective throughout society. Let us now proceed to our activities. It's more fun being a Filipino. Can you guess the pictures? Identify what is being described by the pictures. Write down your answer on a separate sheet of paper. You'll be given 10 seconds. Let us now proceed to the second activity. Slang matchup. Match column A with column B. All the terms on column A are the common terms that are being used in our English language, while column B are the terms that are being used in our society to identify those around us. Let us now identify. Number 1, mother. The answers are B, mother or ermat, letter B. 2, father, letter D, airpat. C, cigarette, letter C, Yossi. Number 4, gay, letter A, Becky. Number 5, tough guy, letter E, Astig. Let us have a wrap up for this session. Acrostic of anthropology. Let us now check how well did you understand our lesson for this session. Forms words that are connected with anthropology using each letter of the word anthropology. You may write it on a separate sheet of paper. After the lesson, how do we value our learnings? Based from the lesson reflected, what have you learned by answering the question? I learned, I realized, and I applied. Let us proceed to the post-test. Question number 1. It focuses on the human values of human and human behavior. The choices are A for anthropology, B for sociology, and letter C, political science. Correct answer is letter A, anthropology. Question number 2. The community spirit of helping one another during calamities. Letter A, bayanihan. Letter B, mañana. And letter C, bathala na. The correct answer is letter A, bayanihan. Let us now proceed to the third question. It is defined as a set of tradition, rules, symbols that shapes and are enacted as feelings, thoughts, and behaviors of groups of people. The choices are A. Society, B. Culture, C. Language. The correct answer is letter B. Culture. Fourth question. The following are examples of Filipino culture except blank. The choices are A. Resilient, B. Lazy, or letter C. Takes pride in their family. The correct answer is letter B. Lazy. For a final question, are behavioral rules or standards for social interaction. This often derives from values but also contradict values and serves as both guides and criticism for individual behavior. The choices are A. Norms, B. Values, C. Behavior. Correct answer is letter A, norms. I do hope you appreciate our lesson for this session. Until next time, see you!